Hey y'all, it's me again. So ignore my barking dogs in the background. There's no telling what they're up to. So update, I got the job. So now the real fun begins. I actually put my 2-week notice in, so I'm on my last week of work. My last day is Friday, and I will be starting my new job on Wednesday. I'm super excited. The company is amazing. The people are amazing. They've okayed my travel. So it looks like I'm going to be moving to Mexico in June. So my plan is to move there June 1st. And I've already been looking for apartments and talked to dads and kind of worked out a plan. So now it's liquidation time. I've been liquidating already, started like just getting rid of as much stuff as I could possibly sell and still survive for the next 7 months. So it's going okay. It's a little overwhelming, I'll be honest with you, selling, basically liquidating your life for the last 20 years, 25 years. It is a lot, but it's freeing. Like, I already feel better that I'm getting these things done and out. My new roof is going on next week, so that'll hopefully help me sell the house and get a better price. I've got a few home improvement things I need to take care of around here, but I don't think it's anything that's going to cost me a ton of money, and I think it'll definitely help me sell the house in the long run. My biggest concern about moving right now is internet. Internet access on the island is somewhat new. I mean, 10 years ago, they didn't even have DSL. So they now have, fiber optic line, but a lot of it is kind of hit and miss, even by neighborhood. It's a small community, so there's not a whole lot there, but I'm hoping that, I can get all these things done before I arrive so that when I get there, it's going to be a plug and play situation. But my plan is to leave at the end of May, hopefully be able to spend a few days before I move in a hotel or an Airbnb and just make sure all these things are in place. I'm going to take that whole week off of work so that, I can, if there are issues, I can, solve those before, it's time for me to work. But outside of that, everything is going fantastic. My dream is coming true. The kids are excited. I think as far as like my friends and family are concerned, it hasn't 100% sunk in with them yet. I have had some dissidence from both sides, friends and family. Family members think I'm nuts, and friends are upset that I'm leaving, and so they're distancing themselves. But, that's just part of natural growth, and I'm sure the true friendships will stand the test of time, and I have no doubt in that. I would be sad too if my best friends were leaving. But as far as, my family, they came around once I explained to them, I do my research. I am not going into this blind. I know exactly what I'm getting myself into, and it's not a situation where I have to stay. The nice thing about this job is I have the freedom to go anywhere that I want to go. So I'm very excited. I think my plan right now, like I said, is to move there with the kids in June. And then the kids will stay with me until the end of July. And then I will fly everybody back to visit their father and spend some time with them. And then come back maybe middle to end of August. And then we will all go back in the middle of November and spend the holidays with my family. So I'll be there November, December, beginning of January, and then come back. So I think I've got a plan. I try to plan things out. So one thing that I want to talk about is, the whole thing about unaccompanied minors and flying. So I don't know how many people are in my situation, but I didn't think about this ahead of time. And so now that I'm actually doing the research, it's a lot more difficult than I had originally imagined it would be. So all airlines have different rules about unaccompanied minors. I got really excited because Southwest opened up a direct route from St. Louis, which is my closest international airport, directly to Cozumel. And the rates were amazing, like just absolutely phenomenal, $190 one way. So perfect. Plus with the baggage and everything, it wouldn't have been an issue. However, There has been a small issue because they do not do international unaccompanied minor flights. So I am going to be forced to use either American or Delta, which are the only two that fly into Cozumel. And then with my youngest daughter flying, because of her age, she is 6, she will actually have to have a nonstop flight, which makes things even more complicated. So basically what that means is I would have to drive to Cancun. She would have to take a flight from Cancun direct to Chicago, which is the closest hub that does direct flights, which it's cheaper, but you know, it means that Dad has to drive 5 hours to pick her up. So just something to think about when you're moving, that you know, you have taken into account the unaccompanied minors. There is a charge also associated with most airlines, like for example Interjet, it's a $50 charge, whereas American and Delta, United, it's $150. So just make sure you have all those things in place, in line, you know, when you start the journey. They will take care of all of the customs and immigration once they arrive at the airport, so I do understand the associated fee. However, you know, just something to keep in mind. I do know that the fee applies per family unit. So if you're flying siblings, there's only one fee per unit. So if at all possible, fly them all at the same time so you can save money. But yeah, and then the other issue I've run into is transporting my animals. So Cozumel's hot. It's hot like 90% of the year. My plan is to fly my cat with me and Coach because of her size requirements, but my dog, back here she is, as you can see, is about a 70-pound Labrador Retriever. So she will have to ride as checked baggage, and because of the heat restrictions, we can only fly certain times of the year. So I'm still struggling with how I'm going to do this. I may need to go down earlier, and luckily I have a lot of friends and that live there now that probably would be willing to help me with her. However, you know, it's just something you have to remember. There's also a low temperature restriction. If you are planning on taking your animals anywhere, just, you know, keep that in mind, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have about that. So just shoot me a comment. But yeah, so we're on the right track. I will update you guys more as we move along. I'm going to try to do more I guess I'm going to do more updates. The word escapes me. But I will keep you guys updated and kind of let you know where we're at and what issues I face as I face them. But I do appreciate you watching, and have a wonderful day.